Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine. I am an intuitive, transformational life and business coach and a multidimensional energy light worker. Today and this whole month, I've been talking about health. Today, it's all about that movement thing, that exercise, which for me is kind of a four-letter word. It starts with I don't know what, but it's not my happiest place to be. I used to do exercise as dance. And then my knee wasn't so good because I danced for so many years in different dance companies and just for the love of it and on stage that I ended up with arthritis so badly that I could hardly walk at one point. And it's a lot better now, but exercise, it's not fun. It's sort of boring for me. Yoga, can't bend that way. There's all these different ways that I just doesn't get me. But we all know, I mean, everybody knows that some sort of movement is imperative for your body. But if you're like me, you might think, yep, gonna get exercise. If you have somebody to exercise with, it is the easiest thing to do it because it's really hard to not do it. It's hard to make that excuse every single day. I don't think I'll feel like doing it if it impacts somebody else. So having an exercise buddy is the number one way to keep doing it. If you are someone who gets obsessive about it and you exercise constantly for an hour or two a day, more power to you. It's not me. I get to bed, even when I have the absolute willingness to do it, at least it seems like it. I go to bed at night and sometimes I go, oh yeah, I didn't exercise. Because I'm thinking through, what did I do today? Oh, I forgot to exercise. That used to happen constantly until I finally said, oh, to heck with it. I'm not going to even think about it anymore. And then I stopped thinking about exercise. But I know I need to do it. So I started finding different things and buying different videos to see what felt right to me. And still, as long as my knee holds up, dancing is my thing. I find more joy in that. Not the ones that are for people who can't dance at all because they're so slow and so boring. So you need to find what's right for you because you know that you should. You know, it's one of those things that, oh, if you're not an exerciser, it's like, I hate that word. Then it's time to make peace with that. You need to make peace with the fact that maybe you don't like to exercise and find something that is different. That's a movement. If you have a house, maybe you can garden. That is a lot of exercise. Maybe you can get a dog, walk around the block a few times a day because they have to go out. Whatever it is that you need to do to make it more pleasurable. Maybe you will walk, but you're bored beyond belief because you need a walking buddy. Or you need books on tape. Well, audiobooks now they call them. You need to listen to podcasts while you're walking so that you will walk. Something interesting, something that will get your mind on something other than how bored you are. Whatever it is, find something that will keep you involved and interested while you're exercising. Whether it's the love of exercise itself that gets you, whether you only watch a certain show, maybe your favorite show while you're exercising so that you have a reason. It's like, oh, I maybe you watch a soap opera or a Telemundo or something where you're going, yes, okay, only when I'm exercising do I get to watch this. And it's a half an hour show, perfect. Comes on every day, perfect. You don't need to, though, exercise every single day. You need to get some kind of movement every day, but you don't need to do the same thing day in and day out. Make sure you do some aerobic type things so that gets you moving, gets your heart pumping. Doesn't have to be aerobics because it's hard on some knees, believe me. Doesn't have to be dancing, but something that moves your body around. Once you have that, then you can also not only move your body around, but you can also start lifting weights of some sort of body weight kind of lifting sort of thing. It doesn't have to be weightlifting per se, but something that you are doing that kind of weight of some sort. And just know that whatever you choose to do is better than nothing. So whether you're just walking or getting the steps in that are twice as much as normal, because usually you walk 2,000 steps and you're working 4, that'll make a big difference. You don't have to make a huge change. Even if you only exercise 10 minutes doing something, it's better than 0. Maybe you just, like they say, park the car farther away. You take the stairs instead of the elevator. I, my day job was on the 6th floor. My knee was not happy with that. If it had been the first or second floor, I could have forced myself to do it, but the sixth floor was a little much for my breath and my knees. So I didn't do that very often. But I know that there are ways to just make sure that you look at what you're doing so that you can find what works for you. What do you like to do? Are you still a sports person? You like to get up and actually participate, or are you always on the couch? Then you need to find something to do. Maybe you play Nerf football, if there is such a thing still, with your grandkids or your kids. You do something. If you have a toddler, you get enough exercise, don't worry, because you're going to be running all over the place, probably chasing them down, lifting them, walking around. You're going to be strong enough to get all of those sorts of things. Now, you might want to do targeted if you are gaining weight in certain areas that you need more stomach exercises. If you've just had a baby and you're healthy enough to go ahead and exercise, it's not just the lifting of the weight of the baby and the running around. When they get to be a toddler, you need a little bit more. Sometimes the children will lay on you, or the dog will come follow you and lay next to you when you're exercising. And that can be either a bother or a good thing, depending. So you have to make adjustments accordingly. Just know it's for your best. Know and connect in and see if there's anything particularly that will work best for you. Say, how is this for me? Is this a good thing? This type of exercise, maybe like with my knees, it's like certain things I can't really do anymore, but other things I can. I can't bend a certain way and I can't jump around a twist. The twisting bothers me. So just know your body. Know what you can do. Minimal. You can find things that are for older people, for injured people, just arms, if you have trouble with your legs, just legs, your stomach, whatever you need, something. But decide in order to do it how much you're willing to do it a day, how many days a week. Make a plan for yourself. Put it on your to-do list. When you decide, I'm not willing to exercise 7 days a week, say, fine, that's no problem. I'll do 4. And I think I will do 4. So if that's what you say, okay, the plan says I'm going to do 4. And you go, will I really do 4? No, I probably do 3. Okay, so do I want 3 plus extra credit? If I do the extra credit, then I get to reward myself with something. Extra half an hour in the bathtub, an extra hour of reading, or whatever it may be, because you don't necessarily want to do food if you're exercising for losing weight. So if you're looking at this plan that you want to put together, do something that makes sense. Don't say I'm going to work out 7 days a week if you know you won't. Think about what works with your schedule, 5 days, 4 days. And then if you say, I have no time now, 10 minutes. Get home, change your clothes, 10 minutes, move on. 15 minutes. See how you feel. Try different kinds of things. Try, like maybe if you have no time during the week, you do it twice on the weekend, and one day during the week, you find something that you can fit in there. 10 minutes, 15 minutes of something. Whatever it is, maybe you do gardening on the weekend one day and chasing after a grandchild on another day, or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be specific like exercise classes. It can be anything that moves your body. Just be kind to yourself and realize that if you make the plan and you don't stick to it, try and do what you didn't do one day on the next day, if you can. That way, because it's not like you didn't do it. If you say, I'm going to do it 3 times a week, I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't want to do it on the weekends. And you miss Friday because you have a hot date. Or something else comes up. You fall asleep and you don't do it. Opposite of a hot date. So then Saturday or Sunday, you make up that time. And maybe you do twice as much because you have the time, or maybe you do 5 minutes less. But at least then you've actually followed through with what you wanted. And if you find you like yoga, great. If you find you like Pilates, great. You don't have to do the same thing every time. If you do something different, your body will not get used to it, and it's more likely to drop the weight if you do different things. At least that's what I found for me. If I do the same thing every time, it ends up hitting a plateau and I'm kind of there. But if I'm thinking of if I try different kinds of things, one day I try to do yoga, and then the next day I would do a little bit of dancing, and the next day I would do some weights, and it was just a little different every time. It helped because that's when I dropped 20 pounds, really piece of cake, no worries at all. The first time I dropped 20 pounds, and I started seeing difference in my body. You can do this. It doesn't have to be outlandish or a huge plan that you go and you get a trainer and you're working and it's expensive. You work for a half an hour, 3 or 4 times a week. If you're willing and you can afford it, by all means, go there if your body's ready for that. Make sure the trainer listens to you, that they know that if you have any issues with your body, that they don't give you things that hurt. That if you say it hurts, they go, just go through it. No. You know your body. Listen to your body. But love it enough to give it some movement. Whatever it may be, whether it's a lot or a little, just more than what you do now if you don't do any or if you only do a little. Give yourself that gift. Love yourself enough to do that. Thank you for listening to me here today. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification. Right now, I'm putting out two videos a week. One is the Joy Corner, which are I am affirmations, and the other one, a variety of different things, including this week and this month, which are all about health. You can also, please, I just joined the Instagram community. Please follow me at Connect to Joy. That's Connect, the number 2, Joy. And that's also my website, connecttojoy.com, where you'll find information on transformational coaching, on speaking, and my podcast. And you can connect with me there, not only if you want to work with me or you think that maybe we'd be a good match, but also to hire me if you want more about information about intuitive readings, or you think you might be a guest, you've listened to the podcast, and if being a guest is something that sounds good and you feel right with me, by all means, connect with me and we will talk about it and I'll send you an application. Until next time, please remember that you are already enough to have that joyful, limitless life that you desire.